Life Her Podcast.
Hey girl, thank you for tuning in to Life Her Podcast. We are here to inspire you, lift you up, and let you know we see you in all of your love, strength, power, and courage. So sis, let's take a journey together because our experiences are not our own, and cycles, they need to be broken. Hey y'all, welcome to Life Her Podcast. I'm here with my two sister cousins, LaCole and Katasha. Hey y'all.
Hey. Hey. Hey girl, we here.
Yes, everybody is in town due to my mother's funeral that just passed, and we just decided for us to do a nice Life Her Podcast for everyone. So what's up, y'all? What's y'all trying to talk about?
It's so many things.
I know. It's a whole lot that we could talk about. So we could just get to it with what? Let's talk about the difference of the things we go through when a death is in the family.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Like, everybody has an opinion for everything, and everybody's trying to tell you what to do, what not to do, and things of that nature. Thank God, like, we not, like, drama-fied or nothing like that, but just the fact that sometimes people just get beside themselves and how families deal with it. It could be worse. You know, some people deal with a lot as far as finances, fighting over money, and just different things of that nature. So, what y'all think about that?
Well, I'm going to just jump in and say, I feel like that I can honestly say I thank God because I feel like our family is kind of blessed in that sense. I feel like we have not really experienced a lot of major deaths. We don't deal with a lot of that in the family. I feel like we have been hit pretty heavy with when it came to our grandparents, and then now with our aunts. But I feel like because we have that foundation of love and family instilled in us already, when it comes to something like death like that, we don't know nothing but to come together for one another and to be a support system and to show love, give space when needed.
And staying in your lane.
There, exactly.
Yes. Staying in your lane.
Staying in your lane.
Yeah, because I know it's difficult sometimes when people go through things and they get to fighting and everything. They just take it so serious, or everybody always want to be validated for something or known for something. They always want credit for something. And I think it's messed up when people got to face these problems when someone passed away, that's when everybody should be coming together.
Right.
I think it's sickening, honestly.
I think it's a disgrace, especially when it comes to when you want to fight about money, or the fact of the matter is we didn't talk or have a relationship before the death. But now when the death comes, everybody want to come knocking on the door, talking this, that, and the third. But where was you before?
Right.
You know, now you want to validate. Now you want to say you this. You want to say you that. Oh, we had this. But before you was nowhere around. Or we didn't talk before.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so now it's like this big thing where people not staying in their lane.
Or even when it's all said and done, when everything is done and over with, you won't hear from none of them people ever again.
Again. It's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
You just come around just that one time, and then everybody going about their life all over again.
Mm-hmm.
But when that person passed, they were like, oh, we need to start getting together more and spending time with each other. But then after it's all said and done, they ain't around no more. So what happened to all that talking about family need to spend more time with each other instead of waiting till somebody pass?
Exactly.
Yeah, we just need to do things like we're supposed to do. But luckily, we close already.
Yeah, we are.
So
we are.
We don't have a problem.
We don't at all.
We can go in 6 years and then come back together and pick up like we ain't never missed.
I mean to tell you.
Yeah.
We talk on a regular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We talk when need be. We know we can go to each other. And it's all love. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We keep each other in check.
Right.
That's for sure.
Come on.
I know. We really do. Even if it's bad.
And don't even get mad at each other about it, because you know you were supposed to be checked.
Exactly. It don't build up no offense. You know what I mean? Nothing. It's just like, oh, dang, you right.
I think it comes from us loving ourselves. You know, a lot of people neglect from loving themselves and knowing who they are within, to the point we already know who we are within and we already know each other. Some people will create something about you knowing it's not you, but they will create it because of something in their mind or something that they're going through personally.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, what you think about me ain't none of my business.
Come on.
It ain't.
For real.
I like that. It's not.
I think people so used to doing certain things, they don't realize that it's their own personal issues that they have. Like, listen, Linda, listen. This is not me. This is you. Like, you need to check yourself and realize what you got going on in your life before you start coming to me and giving me a description of your life.
Of your life, right.
And making it mine.
That's deep.
That is deep. And I feel like it has a lot to do with our foundation. Like, because our mothers aren't like that. They can care less what people think about them because they know who they are already. You know what I mean? That's what their parents instilled in them. So it couldn't help but trickle down to us. You know what I mean? And so we the exact same way. So.
And you know, our moms, they may go back and forth with each other and stuff sometimes, but it don't last long.
No,
Next thing you know, they be talking and everything. Like, what sisters don't get into it and stuff.
Because they know it's love at the end of the
day. They like deeply love each other. And it's like amazing how they just hold and carry each other in so many ways, good and bad, when we going through stuff.
Right.
Like, they be coming through.
They do. And I mean, that's how we are with each other now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We really do be looking out for each other.
Right.
I think a lot of us too, like including like the boys and family. I think we really need to realize that our parents are getting older.
Yeah.
And like younger, and we have to do more for them, even though they may irritate us sometimes.
Right.
Do a little something here and there. You be like, oh, I don't feel like it or something. Right. But we just gotta realize they are elders now. You know, we gotta take care of them. We gotta take turns taking care of them.
Yeah,
right.
You know, so that and then it's kind of weird because, you know, we like sister cousins, but we look at each other's moms like it's our moms too.
Right. You right about it.
Yes,
that's just how it is, and I love how we're close, but everybody got their own relationship with their own, you know, person. Right. You know what I mean? But it's still. My relationship still won't outweigh the other relationship. You know what I mean? Right. But I feel like everybody has like their own understanding. Other relationships, everybody stay in their lane, but we come together as one. Right. Like I remember our cousin. I don't know if we can say names on here, but somebody had mentioned that really it's only 9 grandchildren, right? Mm-hmm. But we have an energy of like 30.
Yeah, we do. Seriously, you know what's so crazy? When I be talking to
I feel like it's a whole bunch of us. It's only but when you look at the picture, we took it like, dang, it's just nice.
I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. Because like when people be asking, I'm like, yeah, it's only 3 girls, but we got a lot of boys. It's
really only 6 boys.
Yes, and it feel like it's 15, 20 of them.
Like it do, and when they said that, I was just like, that is so true.
Yes,
because that's how we coming through.
Yes, that is so funny. So I would like to also let people touch base. Like, okay, all of us is married. It took me forever.
But what I tell you today, it was worth the wait. Lord.
Yes. Lord. So we can also let people know the different things on like marriage experience on, and even when we had boyfriends and how it is now when we got boyfriend, or when we are, you know, Coco, she going through her thing right now, that process. So we can really just let people know like our different ways on it, because we all got 3 different ways.
Yes.
Like, really. But it's so cool, though. We all still talk to each other, and we don't judge each other.
Right.
We support each other instead of making each other feel less than what we do. And I think that is, like, really dope.
That's
for
dope.
real.
It is, for sure.
So who want to kick that one out?
Coco!
Like, what y'all talking about?
You the oldest.
You the oldest, and you got the most experience in it.
I know, right? Well, the marriage, oh my God. It is something else. Been married going on 17 years, but been separated for like 9 months. Yeah.
Dang, it's been 9 months.
I think so.
Probably have.
Let me
Goodness.
see if I can count it.
Gotta count.
Get your count on.
Yeah, exactly 9 months.
Oh, wow.
This month. Yeah, that's deep. So, like, when, oh, man. I don't even know where to start with the marriage situation. Because, like, when we got married, I knew that year I was going to get married. But I didn't know who I was going to get married to. Like, my finger ring, my ring finger was itching, just itching. I'm like, what is going on? And then, like, me and my husband started talking that summer, and he was in jail. He was, and but I knew him from the past. Like, he was my first boyfriend, my first kiss, my first everything, and I was only 12 years old. And so, like, I feel like, you know, with me going back and talking to him, I feel like we already had history, because it wasn't just when I was 12 when we was messing around. It was when I was in high school too. So, like, it was off and on kind of a thing. He went off, did his own thing, had kids and stuff, and I was in the process of getting my life together. I was buying a house, just got a car, had a good job, everything, you know. And he came about, and then, like, after he got out of jail, we said we was gonna get married. 3 months later, we got married on my birthday. I was 22, turning 23. And, like, literally the first 3 years was hell. It was hell. Like, my family don't even know half of the stuff that I went through with him.
Sure don't.
But I want to interrupt you and say, I think that's good, though.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes we need somebody to talk to. But at the same time, when it comes to a marriage, I feel like that's good that the family didn't know, because we can't forgive.
Right.
You know, family don't forgive.
Right.
So go ahead. I just want to throw that.
So, like, yeah, the first 3 years, it was really something else. Like, I should have left him 1,000 times, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why I didn't is because I believed in my vows.
Right.
I believe, you know what I'm saying, you married, you know, it's till death do us part, through sickness and health, through the rich, poor, and, you know, whatever, you know. And so that's what I was fighting for. I see myself plenty of times on my face praying, you know, praying over him while he sleep, you know, trying to, you know, pray him into the man that he's supposed to be, that I see him to be, you know. And, like, it started working slowly but surely. It started working. And then, you know, we finally got pregnant with our first kid or whatever. And being pregnant them 9 months was something else, dealing with him also. You know, but we got through that. Then, going on to our second kid, I didn't even know I was pregnant. And we was, you know, having our ups and downs, and he was telling me, oh, I'll go back to any one of my baby mamas, and we go get divorced today if you want to, like, just always like down talking me and talking crazy all the time. You know, then, you know, I wanted to run and leave. But, you know, I was thinking about marriage again, and now we got a kid, and then I'm pregnant again, you know. And with that pregnancy, I can remember going to jail when I was 6 months pregnant.
Dang, I didn't know that either.
6 months pregnant and went to jail overnight because he went shut the hell up.
You know, this is open. You can say what you want.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he went and shut the hell up. You know, the police, you know, talking to him and stuff. He went and be quiet or whatever. I had a warrant for a traffic ticket that was somewhere far away, and you know, if he would have been quiet, then I would have went home. You know, but that didn't happen. So even with me in jail that night, I knew something wasn't right, you know, when I was in there, you know. And then, so when I get out, he telling me, oh, I ran into my baby's mom's friend last night, and she was telling me this and telling me that. And that was that. And so I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't think nothing about it. Like, why is he telling me this? You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just happy I'm out of jail, you know. So then, like, a couple weeks later, he getting into it with his baby mom. They going back and forth, and then next thing she know, she texting me telling me, well, that's why when you was in jail, your husband was trying to come have sex with me. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
Wow, really? You know, so then I was having second thoughts again about being married, but I'm pregnant, you know, so, but of course I got to get through this, you know what I'm saying? So after we had the second son, everything started to get a little better, you know, with his job, with me, or whatnot. I was staying at home. I was a stay-at-home mom. At the time, I was cool with that because, you know, he was working, but then time goes on and you get tired of looking at four walls. You get tired of doing everything. So I went back to work. But then when I went back to work, I got pregnant again. And with that pregnancy, that was really something else because I was told I was a bad mom. I don't know how many times with that pregnancy.
Dang.
I didn't even want to keep that baby.
Dang.
He called me a bad mom, like, literally the day before I got induced to have my baby. All because I wanted a sandwich that he ain't want to go get. It just totally just flipped out on me and said I was a bad mom. I ain't shit. My mom was better than you. And she raised 5 boys and da-da-da-da-da, and you only got 2 boys and you pregnant and you ain't shit. Like, I cried my whole heart out. Like, I prayed to God to take me that night before I even had that baby. And then when I went and got induced the next day, then he wanted to come. He didn't even apologize. He just went and got me something to eat from McDonald's, some clothes from Gabe's to wear home, and that was that. So I guess he thought that it was okay. But it was still on me, you know, when I went to go have this baby. Then I'm sitting up in this hospital hoping and praying for my mom to come so he could get out that hospital room because I didn't even want him sitting there with me.
Dang.
You know, and then when my mom come and they give me the epidural. Now, I had just got done praying, telling God to take my life. And then here I am, laying here with this epidural. And it's numbing me the wrong way. Instead of going down my legs, it started coming up to my heart. Like, and I could literally start feeling everything just numbing from the waist up instead of the waist down. And I'm sitting up there like, dang, God about to take me. So next thing I'm like, maybe I should say something to my mom. So I'm like, Mom, something ain't right. She like, want me to get the nurse? I'm like, yeah. So they come in, they hurry up, lift me up, and turned me over so the medicine could start going down because it was almost to my heart. So that's when they was like, the baby's heart rate is dropping. And then that's when I started to change my mind frame and started praying for me and for the baby. And he came out all right. So that's probably why my little boy is so close to me. Like, he guards me like nobody's business. Like, he's like my real true guardian angel. So like, after we had him, he's 5 years old now. But after we had him, I went through a deep depression. Like, it was nothing but darkness. I didn't want to clean my house. I didn't want to wash no clothes. I didn't want to wash myself. Only thing I cared about was making sure them boys was okay. And I think that's the only thing that really pushed me to start loving myself more, because these boys really needed me. They like really need their mom. So I started to pray more. Started to ask God, like, who is LaCole? Not LaCole Odoms. Who is LaCole Sutton? Who am I? What am I here for? Show me the way. Help me out this darkness. So I started just buying clothes, making myself feel better, doing my hair all the time, cleaning up just cause, like just to keep going. Cause I know if I sit down, then I'm gonna get sleepy. Then I'm gonna sleep and just sleep my life away. So I had to do something to just keep myself going. And the only thing that I could think of was to just clean up and do my hair and go shopping and stuff, because I wasn't working. So then when I started working, that's when I really started buying myself more things and stuff. But then when I was doing that, he was sitting up there thinking that I was cheating on me. All because I was trying to make myself feel better and look better. Oh, you cheating on me? Where you going looking like that? Why you wearing that? Why you ain't answer the phone when I called? Like, dang. Like, for real, this is what you think of me? For real? Like, you really think I'm cheating on you? Like, this is crazy. So that kind of almost made me slip back into the dark area, but I didn't let that happen. So as time went by, I found myself liking to cook more or whatever. So that's when I came up with breakfast in bed. So when I found myself cooking more and I seeing people like my food and stuff, that put me in a great mood. I finally found my gift that God gave me. It wasn't just taking care of people, you know, like physically taking care of people. It was also, you know, feeding people. So when I recognized that was my gift, I started, you know, trying to push more for it. But the more I tried to push for it, the more it seemed like he was trying to support me, but then again, he wasn't supporting me. You know what I'm saying? So like, he'd do this much and be like, oh, well, you can't do this. Oh, but yeah, you could do this, you know? And it's like, what? What are we doing? So, after, you know, I pushed that some more or whatever. And then next thing you know, we had, got my stepdaughter. We started taking care of her. We got custody of her. Everything was going great with her. I literally did everything for her. Everything for her. Not just for her, for my other stepkids too. But she was the one we had got custody of. And I started taking care of her. He did too. But I feel like I did the most. I feel like I did the most with all my stepkids. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, real talk. But I feel like I got drained from doing all of that. Like, I wasn't getting refilled. Like, the love, I feel like the love wasn't coming back. Maybe it was in their way, but it wasn't how I wanted for it to come back. So when would talk to my husband about different things, how I was feeling, I feel like he wasn't my best friend anymore. Because it wasn't like a regular conversation. It was always like we arguing all the time, and he down talking me like I'm his child and not his wife, not his partner. So when I talk more to him about it, he telling me, oh, well, deal with it. You know, and it's like, what do you mean, oh, well, deal with it? You know, I can't live like this. I'm not happy. So if I'm not happy, you're not trying to make me happy, what else am I supposed to do? You know, and then I found myself putting up this brick wall from him. And I'm like, well, if he not going to talk to me, he not going to be my friend, then I'm going to find somebody else that's going to be my friend. And I said it out loud. You know, and they always say, watch what you say. You know what I'm saying? And I said it out loud. I can remember as clear as day when I said it. Because I was at work and I was talking to my client about him because I was crying at work about me and him going back and forth about different things that we shouldn't even be going back and forth about. But I heard myself say, I'm going to find me somebody else to talk to. And literally, in that same day when I said that, somebody was in my inbox. I mean, it was in my inbox and said, hey, you know I could love you better than him. And, you know, I know it was wrong for me to even, you know, feed into it, to even...
So when you got to this point, how many years have you been married?
16 years.
Okay.
This is finally when I got to that point. And it wasn't like I was, you know, about to talk to this person because I wanted to have an affair and cheat or whatever. I just wanted somebody to talk to. Somebody to listen to me. You know, that's all I wanted. And that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. It was, I ain't even gonna lie, it was like heaven on earth. I swear to you. Just for that person just to hear me out every day. And just to ask me how I'm doing every day. You know, and for them to remind me of the person that I have always been, but I forgot. I forgot because I was taking care of everybody and not taking care of myself. And at the same time, my husband should have been taking care of me better, but he wasn't. So I slipped away. And now we're here.
Dang. Look at God.
It's so deep.
How do you feel now since you done got out of that, but you're going through a divorce process and all of that?
Man, it's literally like an emotional roller coaster. Oh my goodness. Because, like, even though I engaged in that conversation with that person, I lightweight still feel like, you know how they say when you meet people, you meet them for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's either for a reason, a lesson, a lifetime, or a season. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to figure. I had to figure what this was about. Like, what is this about? What are you sending me through? You know what I'm saying? So it was a lesson. It wasn't nothing but a lesson because I had to find myself. And I had to start loving myself. And when I start loving myself, I start recognizing all the negative stuff that I didn't want around me anymore. You know, whether if it was with my husband, that guy, my friends, whoever, family, whoever. You know, I started, now I could recognize the negativity.
See clear.
I see clear as day.
Yeah, it takes a toll on people.
Man.
When I think one thing about us as women, we love others more than ourselves, and we find ourselves gravitating and being more motivated for other people instead of being motivated for us. And like going through all of that, all them years you was drained from having your husband, helping him walk through life, and then you helping every single one of his kids walk through life. on top of that, not even knowing you helping his exes walk through life too. Then it's just a long ongoing process of you helping so many people for 16 years, and now you gotta help yourself.
Yeah.
And it feels damn good, don't it?
It felt wonderful because like everybody keeps saying like they proud of me and stuff or whatever, but I really never took the time out to take a step back to look where I came from. You know what I'm saying? Like he kept saying, "Oh, you can't do nothing without me," and this and that, whatever. But I'm like, hold on, yo, you forgot. I definitely forgot, but you forgot who I was. I'm Coke. What? Stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? When he came to me, I had everything. Everything. And I got all of that by myself. And I got all of it now by myself. You know, I'm not on no Section 8. I'm not on no food stamps, no nothing. LaCole doing her damn thing by herself.
Yeah, it feels damn good, don't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Praise the Lord.
Are you next, Katasha? You was the second marriage.
Yes, Tosh. Tell us, Tosh.
How many years y'all been married?
Girl, look, I'm not getting a little tearful.
Oh, drop it down.
You didn't know your big cousin was going through it.
No, it's crazy because it's not that I didn't know you was going through something, but I knew. But you know, like how people, you know, sometimes you just want to mind your business and wait on that person. Because like when people was going through stuff, they're not going to try to hear what the hell you got to say.
Right.
So I personally didn't never want to approach you with nothing until I felt like you was ready.
Right.
Because I ain't want, you know, sometimes when we in our depression phase, suicidal phase, and all that, we think it's just us against the world, and it makes us feel even more less. And then when you say something, they take it offensively, and you know, outbursts and all that. And you know, it gotta be to a point you just gotta just wait on time and pray. I pray heavy.
Right.
I pray heavy.
But you know, another thing that also brought me out of the darkness was Fidea. Fidea, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you called me and told me, Coach, I just need you to just come this one time to talk to these girls, just one time. Not knowing that one time was going to change my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Just talking to 3 girls in the basement. Like, and that was how many years ago?
8 years.
8 years ago.
8 years ago.
8 years ago is when I recognized I was in the dark.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm sitting up here thinking I'm going to talk to these girls to help them, not knowing talking to them was helping me, healing me, because I never really talked about my pain. I never really talked about anything that I went through. So just talking to them, that healed me. That helped me. So, you know, Fidea did a lot for me.
Yeah, for a lot of people that helped in the program, for real.
That's awesome. And I think, too, as Saggies,
yeah,
you know, me and Coco,
yeah,
we keep everything to ourselves. So I think when you put it out there and you actually hearing it, it's like, oh, man, this is what I'm going through. You know what I mean? Like, this is what... And that's why I feel like a lot of people put a stigma on, like, counseling and therapists and different things like that. I'll be the first to admit, counseling is key. You know what I mean? Especially when you're not a person that likes to be open to other people. And I feel like a lot of people forget the sanctity of a marriage. You know what I mean? And it's not really good to put all your business out there like that, you know, and let a lot of people in, because, like I stated before, a lot of people are forgiving. They have opinions of how you think that you should be doing and this, that, and the third. So when you have a unbiased person, somebody who doesn't know you, you know what I mean, you can express yourself. It gives it helps you because you can hear it for yourself, what you're going through. I know in mine, I know marriage is a lot of work. It's hard work. We'll be 8 years on the 25th. And like what Yvette said, I feel like as women, we wear so many different hats that we forget the hat of who we are, you know. And so just being ahead as a mother, as a wife, and pushing other things and other people, I would say in my marriage, we were doing good. We had my daughter first, and then we ended up getting married, and we were both in school, and you know, had a goal. We were pushing. Saray through that time was good. And then I would say when we decided to move from Ohio to Arizona, we were moving there so I could pursue hair, because that's what I wanted to do. He was supposed to work, and I was supposed to do, you know, stay at home and just pursue hair, because that was my goal, you know, to get my license and have my own salon. Get to Arizona. A month later, I found out I was pregnant with my second son. So that kind of, and my pregnancy with my son was was kind of hard. So I had to stop doing hair at early. And so from there, I kind of, and I felt like, you know, you start going into that, what nobody wants to talk about is like that postpartum depression. Yeah. I kind of felt it. I think number one, because with my daughter, me and my husband were both home with her. So, but when my son, he worked 16-hour days. Mm-hmm. So it was just me, my daughter, and me being pregnant. And so, so it was kind of different for me. Then I felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, you know, so I kind of really felt like I wasn't really too happy about the pregnancy. You know what I mean? It was just like, man, then, yeah, so, but I had my son. We kept it moving, but my husband was still working. And so kind of slowly but surely, I just really felt myself going into this dark place. And I was like, oh man, like what the heck is this? So then we ended up having to move out of our home and had to move in with my mother-in-law. And from there, it really went down, because I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like my life wasn't going where I thought that it should be going. And I had these 2 children. I'm at home, my husband working 16-hour days. And I just really felt like, dang, what the heck am I doing? You know what I mean? And I also have sleep apnea. And one of the things with sleep apnea, it kind of like lowers your intimacy, your sex drive. It just lowers everything. So I wasn't in the mood to have sex. I wasn't in the mood to be intimate. I wasn't in the mood. I just felt like, about me. Right. And so feeling like that, it spilled over into, you know, to my marriage. You know what I mean? So I neglected my husband. I was neglecting me. I didn't neglect my kids per se, but I knew I wasn't 100% either. Right. I knew I wasn't like being the best mother that I could be. So like what Coke said, like not eating, you know, staying in the bed, sleeping. And since I'm not a vocal person, I expect people to see me and be like, oh man, what's wrong? Right. But nobody said that.
Remember I said that to you?
Yeah.
I told her that.
What?
That was like, I don't know, it was just to a point where, you know, we so far away from you.
Yeah, right.
So we really can't do nothing. I think my first sign with you of me knowing you was going through something is FaceTiming you. FaceTiming you was different. Like any other time, like you would show us you. But it was like you was ashamed to show yourself, even just FaceTiming you. Or sometimes when we call you and want to do stuff and all that, you be ignoring us and everything. Like you just be going hard. And we be like, man, what's up with time? Like, good, come on. But it's like it got to a point where me and Coco was like more or less concerned to a point. You know, we like, dang. And even, you know, I was going to come to Ray Ray's thing. I had me a plane ticket and everything, and you just went MIA, and I was telling Coco, like, what's up with time?
Right. Yeah. I remember that.
But it's like I didn't take nothing offensively, like to get really mad at you or nothing or angry. It's just, I know you are going through something. But, like, with us just sitting here now, you need to know you got some non-judgmental sisters.
Oh, no, I know. And it had nothing to do.
No, I know it don't have nothing to do with us, but you have to let us help you, too.
Yeah.
It's like you have help, but you have to receive it.
Right. You're right.
I had to learn that, too, with Vet. Because I'm like, she my little cousin. I feel like I'm always supposed to be helping her.
Right.
And she helping me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, no. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, she in a position to help.
Why not let her? Right.
Yeah.
But you, like you said, you learned that. And I know that was something that I had to learn. But I was just like, I'm looking at my husband like, you don't see, like he would sometimes come in the room, see that I'm in the mood, and just go out. But not trying to see, like,
so you was invisible. What's
wrong. You know, it was many a times I would go leave the house, be crying hours at a Walmart parking lot.
Me too.
You know, just trying to.
But we have to understand too, even though we go through things, we can't really expect too many people to help us because they need help too.
Right. And
so it kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? Me knowing Squeaky, I highly believe he didn't really mean it intentionally.
Yeah.
It's just he probably going through it too, or he didn't know how to help you because some people don't know how.
No,
you know, they're not taught that.
And we throughout the process figured that out. You know, when you don't know, you don't know. Right. You know what I mean? And I realized, too, that he dealt with a lot. You know, a lot of weight, you know, taking care of a family by himself, you know, and then I wasn't contributing to nothing. You know what I mean? But I felt like I wasn't in the right headspace. Like, with him working, so he should have been coming home to a clean house, food, you know, the kids. But I was not in the headspace to be any of that. Right. You know what I mean? And so, it really brought a tear in like a division, you know, in our household, in the marriage, and my kids knew, you know, they hugging and loving them because they know something wrong with mama, you know. But, and then it got to the point like where our church kind of went on like a hiatus, so we stopped going to church. And one thing I could say about me and Squeaky's relationship from before we was married, one thing that connected us was our religious. Because he was the first guy that knew God like how I knew God, and that's what brought our beliefs on. So we prayed together, you know, church and stuff like that. So when that aspect kind of stuck out, we both started being back in the world. He started doing, you know, his thing, not far as like cheating or nothing like that, but like going out, drinking, you know, smoking, you know, different things like that, where we just kind of lost sight of God, you know. And so at the time, I couldn't hear him. I couldn't reach out to him. It was like, it was nothing. And so I felt like I was just like out here. And so when it got to the point, like I remember one day he brought me these separation papers. What? Yeah. And it was just like, he was like, I can't. He's like, I don't know who you are. I don't know where my wife is at. I don't even know where Katasha is at. And it really broke me because I'm like, I'm here.
Like, hello.
But I'm not here. You know, and I don't need this added to already what I got going on, or like, you know, what I'm feeling. So we would talk after that, you know, I'm talking like, you know, no, we can't do that. You know, I want to do better. I'm trying to do better. But once again, I'm still doing it on my own. And it felt like just like a cycle. We was going in, and I remember finally, I had a real bad episode, and I remembered I had went to my doctor, and I was just telling her kind of like how I was feeling. So she had gave me, so I went to the doctor, and told my doctor how I was feeling, and she was like, Tasha, you have depression. Point blank, period. I think you had it in postpartum. You never got it taken care of it, so now it's been full-blown depression. She was a spiritual person. She feel like, you know, I feel like we have these pills, medication that you can have, that you can take, but, you know, maybe you need to be, you know, pray to whoever you pray. And I'm like, well, I'm praying. I'm going to hear him. He don't hear me, blah, blah. So she gave me these pills or whatever. And then I remember it was one time I had like another episode. I went to a Walmart. And I was contemplating on taking these pills. And just to say, just F it. You know, just basically, just be done. Mm-hmm. And I remember at that time, I did call Squeaky. And I was crying. And he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I just hear this voice. I'm supposed to take these pills. And I remember he came home. And he took the pills and dumped them. But that was it. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. But we got to figure out what's going on. He's like, I think you need to tell your mama, whatever. I'm like, I'm not telling my mom. I'm not telling nobody. I don't want nobody to know, blah, blah. And that's what I had told him because he didn't even know about the doctor's appointment. He didn't even know where the pills came from. And so I told him that, I went to the doctor, blah, blah. So he ended up calling my mother and told my mom, he was like, you need to come out. Because my mom at this time where we were living, she's like an hour and 15 minutes from me. So I'm thinking my mom was just coming over. A couple of days later, she just coming over just to, hang out or whatever. And so she's like, well, let's just go to the store. So we go to the store. And so she's like, you don't got nothing to tell me, nothing to talk to me about? I'm like, nah, Mom. Blah, blah, blah. And so she was like, well, Squeaky told me you had a doctor's appointment. So immediately I knew what it was that she wasn't talking about. So I tell her stuff, and so I'm start crying, and she's crying, and she's telling me, you don't have to go through this by yourself. We're going to get through this, and it's okay. We get to a point in life where we have to figure ourselves out, as women and different things like that. And so she's like, it's going to be okay. And so she was like, just come stay the weekend, with me and your dad, leave the kids, just kind of, you can kind of get away or whatever. So that weekend I went to go stay with them, and I kind of had like another episode that day, and I was just in the bed crying. And so then she wanted to tell my dad, so he ended up coming around, and y'all know my daddy is sensitive, so he crying. He like, big girl, so he bring out the Bible. He's like, big girl. He said, nope. He said, you need to be surrounded by people that love you, that can care, support you. He said, we're going to get you through this. He said, you're going to read your word. He said, because that's demonic. Those are demonic spirits, demonic thoughts. He said, so we need to put Jesus back on the throne. You need to declare him when you get like that so he can go,
Right.
And I remember for 3 months straight, my dad would call and leave me a voicemail every day. Just saying, big girl, I love you. You can do it. You're going to have a good day. Decree and declare God. Wow. And for 3 months straight, he left me a voicemail. And then I'm still in the rut because I'm thinking, like, this should be my husband. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, my dad shouldn't be doing that. I love it. I'm thankful for it. But I'm still like, man, no, like, I feel like my husband should be the one that's, pushing me through and getting me through, getting me, support. Getting me through this. And so I end up saying, like, man, I think I want to go, I want to, see a counselor or whatever. And I remember before I went to the counselor, we had a retreat. Our First Lady does a retreat every year. And so I went to that retreat that year by myself. Mm-hmm. And I remember the last day, they had prayed over me, and I remember because I was crying. I was just like, God, I just don't want to be like this no more. I want to be happy. I want joy. I want all of that back in my life. And from there, I was like, okay, after that happened, I was like, nope, I'm going to go see a counselor so I could talk this thing out, start working this thing out. And so we ended up going together. And at that point, that's when he realized, like, oh, this is real. Mm-hmm. This is real. So we both each got like, a better understanding of, where I was heading, how he can be a support. Because he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say to her. I don't know, how to be. Because when I sometimes do come around, it's how she treat me, whatever. He's like, I just don't know. And so, so the counselor, just gave us different tips and different things like that. Our church started back up. So when church came, I started running to church. It's like, I got to get to church. And then we ended up moving to our own. We done moved into our own, and then I'm trying to think what happened after that. It got to the point where he was like, well, basically, what can I do to kind of lighten the load for you? You know, far as we need to push you doing, hair, you doing Tasha's Touch, you getting your license, just trying to better yourself, just to feel like you.
Right.
And so, I tried, and then, I started going on that path. I started feeling better. Things were, really, really, really beginning, to really look up. And I was like, okay, I kind of see the light. Mm-hmm. I see the tunnel. And I would honestly say I'm not in that dark place anymore.
Right.
I'm not in that suicidal place anymore. But right now I'm still in the place where I'm still finding me. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's clearer for me now to see where I'm going.
Right.
And so that's just kind of like where I am, in the marriage, in the process. I see that my husband has done a lot more changes, little changes where he is, more concerned, more compassionate, like that. But Squeaky's still going to be Squeaky. He ain't going to let up neither. So because his thing, he shows hard love.
Right.
Versus that soft love.
Yeah.
Right.
So, he's more so like, well, you need to do what you're supposed to be doing. If not, you're going to be just like this. Basically like so. But he is trying to, be softer, show more compassion. But he knows that he don't want me to become stagnant. And he also knows it's my timing. But I know my prayer has been for me to develop a discipline. For me to get out of procrastination, get out of laziness, and really be disciplined, to be focused and on what I'm doing. Tasha, I know I'm supposed to be studying for this test. You need to take out time out your day to study a chapter. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because when it comes to like my other affairs, like things that I do in church, events, I run, I do it, and I do it with no problem.
But when it comes
when it comes to me, I'm so lackadaisy.
That's how I am with me.
So lackadaisy, and now it's to the point I can't be woe is me anymore.
Right.
Because I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, and now it's like I have the tools. I have kind of like I started working. I'm not a stay-at-home mom no more. I stay at home and work, but I have a job, so I have my income. So, I'm getting a little independence. And that was a lot of things that weighed on me, too. Because I'm like, if my husband leave, what the heck I'm going to do?
Exactly.
I don't have a car. I don't work. I don't have, an income.
I was thinking the same way.
But, a lot of things, and how my mom was as far as like cleaning and stuff, and all that. It all starts at home.
Right.
I think if your house is in order and it's clean and everything, it shows that you are in process of cleaning or you're clean yourself.
And see, that's what I had noticed about when stuff started to fall apart for me. It was always at home first. Yeah. Because stuff started falling apart at home. Mm-hmm. So I always, no matter what, I stay on the house cleaning all the time, changing furniture around, doing everything to make sure this house stay clean. Because once the house don't be clean, then that puts me back in that same mode again. And don't want to get up and do this, don't want to do that. So then I can't focus, right? You know what I'm saying? So my house, the boys, they hate it, but I really got to be on them like white on rice every day, because I can't let that slip no more.
Yeah, because it's like she's always be like, if your house ain't clean and your ass ain't clean, then how the fuck you gonna be clean?
Right. No,
so real. She used to always say that. So, you remember on Saturdays what she did? Wake us up at the crack of dawn, playing music. Yeah. And that's another thing, our choice of music. Yeah. If we pick happy music with meaningful words or things that they saying, and it's out of love, we could play that in our house, and you'll see changes. Yeah. Like in so many ways and stuff, and you probably should start doing that, Tosh. Yeah. Just start one room at a time. Yeah. One room at a time.
Turn that music on. That's the number one.
That's what I do. We set an atmosphere. You know what I mean? Cause my kids, they don't listen, the cussing and all that other stuff. Like, we don't really
listen to that
really,
old school. Frankie
Yep,
Beverly and Mays, Anita Baker,
yes,
Maxwell. All the sonds with,
I be playing that Anita Baker.
Yeah, it gets you in the mood.
Girl.
Yeah. Just make you a playlist on your phone and just get your whole music rotation going and stuff, and it'll flow. And
Do
then
you meditate in the morning? Like, just get up and just
I just pray.
That's meditation.
Yeah.
Just get up and just pray, you know what I'm saying? And then like walk 30 minutes in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Just to clear your mind. Like, walking literally clears Tosh, like that literally clears
you
your
may
mind.
not do it, but once you start doing it and get used to doing it, it'll become a habit.
That's what really helped me, like just going to the gym 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Going in there, working out. And then after I'm done working out, you get that shower, you feel so light and refreshed in your mind. You could think so clearly. It's not even funny. That's why I keep saying you don't need to do that. Because I'm telling you, once you start, it's going to go in 30 days. Literally, for real. Like, just 30 minutes in the morning or even 30 minutes in the evening. You know, when the kids get settled and stuff, go walk, clear your mind and stuff, and go back home, take you a shower, man.
You feel like a whole new person.
Man, yes. So you going to talk about you?
Yep.
Lord.
Come on.
Oh, Miss Lloyd.
Come on. Worth the wait.
Lord. Well, I actually, James found me. And
that's what the words say.
Yeah, sure do. Yeah, he found me when I my first year doing Fidea in 2012. I was in the newspaper for the Speak Up, Speak Out event.
Oh, I remember.
And it came to him. Those who don't know, he was in federal prison. At the time, he was in Elkton, Ohio. And it was so weird because when he called me, I'm like, who calling me from prison? I was like, So I didn't even answer the first time because I'm like, I don't know who this is. They got the wrong number. They must be trying to find a little chick or something.
Right.
Or something.
He will.
Yeah, so it was weird, but then he didn't give up. But he called again. And he like, hey, how you doing, Miss Thompson? I saw something in the paper about you doing Speak Up, Speak Out. He was like, I really want to, when I come home out of prison, I really want to get out in the communities and speak to youth and do this and that. And you know me, I'm always like supportive of people.
Right.
When I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, you can do that. That ain't no problem. I say you just gotta come out and just go for it, you know.
Right.
But from then on, like it was cool. Like we was communicating well.
Right.
But it was weird. It was something about his spirit, his conversation, his choice of words.
Yes.
It was different, and I just automatically opened up to him.
Wow.
So he like became like my best friend.
Right.
But it was kind of weird. You know how we know a dude probably talked to another female or something?
Right.
I had that, like, instinct, like, he must be talking to somebody else, too. Which, I mean, I didn't care or nothing, but at the same time, it's like, I felt myself starting to like him more.
Right.
So I dodged him. And I actually dodged him for about 4 years, maybe.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, I dodged him, but it was so crazy. He you know, they got the email thing. He emailed me all the time. It used to be funny because I read what he was saying, but I never responded.
Wow.
And I think the funniest one, he's like, hello, is anyone there? He's like, hello, what did I do? And all this and that. So he kept going. But it was crazy because I had gotten in a relationship. And it ended up going sour, and you know, he abused me and stuff like that. And it only took that one time because me personally, I can't be in nothing abusive because I know what I would do to them. It's either gonna happen when they sleeping or when they unexpected when we just doing something. So I just let that whole relationship go. And it was so crazy because it happened around Christmas. Was it around Christmas? No, it happened around Thanksgiving when I was abused and stuff. And it was weird because I was just feeling down and out. Like I went into a real deep depression, and I noticed myself start gaining weight and everything. It was just, I just felt unwanted. And I think what kept me so captive is because, you know, I have a daycare in my house. So upstairs is the daycare, downstairs is me. I just felt trapped still in the basement. I played back the things that happened to me over and over again. And then it's like I got cousins, like boy cousins, instead of asking me what happened to me, they listening to what he had to say. So that made me feel empty in a bad place too. So and and it's just I went through a phase of just not liking people. Like I just felt hatred, like ugh, and I just felt so down. So it's so weird because all the years of me doing Fidea, like you said, how it helped you. Fidea has helped me too. With a long process of growing in life. Right. And when you hear these young girls' stories, you're like, dang, they just young and they going through this. But I'm this age. What makes me a difference is they're young and they really can't do much because they're a child. Right. But what made me analyze myself, like, okay, I'm older. I'm not a child. I could get myself out of this situation if I really put my mind to it. But I think it's just my depression phase went through it. So it was kind of weird because my phone rang and James had called me. And he just, I don't know, he just sounds sad. And I'm like, what's wrong? But out of all that time of me not talking to him, of course he met someone and I guess they were engaged or whatever, and she died. And it was so weird that she had passed away, and I was going through what I was going through.
Which was dying.
Yes. Yes. Yep. And, you know, dealing with the abuse and stuff. And it was so crazy because I believe in God and all that, but I didn't have a strong relationship with him. Right. It wasn't as strong. So it was weird because I don't know, I started praying with him. We start praying together and stuff, and it's like we both got ourselves out of a depression mode because he was depressed too. He didn't care no more. He like, shoot, I'm doing this time alone and all this and that. So it was weird. It was like for a good 2 years we uplifted each other by, you know, just me going to see him. He ended up transferring into Michigan. And it was so weird because when him transferring in Michigan, he was going for this program so he could get an earlier release. But I was going to see him literally like every weekend.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, I was going to see him every weekend. And then if it's a holiday, I'll see him for that like 4 days straight. I'll go see him. But we just started building a strong foundation, and praying led us to us talking about marriage. And it wasn't like he like, oh, we should get married type thing. It was just weird. And it's so crazy on how it happened because when he was in Elkton, Ohio, you weren't allowed to get married there. So with him going, and he just up and transferred to Michigan, and you know, him going for that program, he wasn't even thinking you can get married there. So it was like God was just working in many ways and come together. So it's crazy because I was battling like, golly, I'm about to get married to somebody in prison. And then I told him, I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. So it's kind of weird because we were supposed to got married.
I remember
last year in January, but we didn't do it because I was scared of my mom. I was scared of my mom. So what I did was I started to communicate with my mom more about him. She knew about him. And stuff. So I started like communicating with her more about him, and she started to see changes in me. She started to see more happiness.
All the way there.
Okay. You was too hyped.
But you started getting more happier though.
You saying that, you sitting in your post.
The glow.
Yeah, and I was just
it was just more. It was a prank. It was just a prank. Okay, are y'all done?
What are you doing?
My bad.
Okay, step into the light. Come back.
Be back. Tell your story.
Oh my Jesus! But
it
was weird. It's because we talked about it so much, and one of our favorite verses we always read was Psalms 91. It's the prayer of protection, and what he did was every time he read it, every time he filled in, he'd say his mom's name, his dad's name, my name, his name, and my mom's name. So he included our parents and he included us also. And each time we read a prayer and we read it to each other, and then we have a day when we did Bible study and we'd look for different verses on what we wanted to talk about. And we went to those verses and we talked about it over the phone. We only got so many minutes on the phone.
Right.
But we did that a lot. And then next thing you know, it was just something just hit me. I'm like, okay. And I just started signing the papers for us to get married. So I'm filling the papers, I'm looking at it, and it was so weird because it just flowed. I don't know nothing about where you go for Michigan and all that. It's like I'm getting married in the state of Michigan and I don't even know where to go or nothing. But it was weird. It was like God was directing me with ease. Like, okay, you go here, you go there. I didn't know what pastor I was gonna get. Next thing you know, he talking about, I got this pastor here and all this and that. So I had the pastor for it. Next thing you know, we had our marriage license. I'm like, oh, Lord. I was like, good Lord. So it was just weird because we ended up we was counting down the days. It's like, okay, we about to get married. And our date was June 26th. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm really got to get married. The next thing you know, I find myself doing arts and crafts shit all on my dango shirt and everything. It was cute. I got a dress made and all of that. So when we getting all that made, it was like, he felt good because it was like I took pride into it.
Right.
And it was crazy because when I got there, even the guys there, the guards, they like, what in the world? We ain't never seen nothing like this before. So it was like I just took my time with it. And it was crazy because when we got there, I gave the wrong time for us to get married. And we were supposed to get married at 1:00. And I said it was at noon. So it was, ironically, we was just sitting there and waiting. And I'm like, dang, he late. Like, we thinking like the pastor late. And the guard's like, okay, we only got a few more minutes left. And y'all had to go because he's not here. So I'm like, oh my God. So it was like, it was weird because I broke down crying. I'm like, oh my God, I came all this way. And I was supposed to get married. It's supposed to be that time and all that. So I was just so devastated and everything because they was saying like it's time to go. So I don't know, like y'all paid attention to the pictures in our room. It's a picture on there with us praying.
Right.
That was the time when I was crying and I was brokenhearted. And he like, babe, come on, we just gonna pray about it. We gonna pray. And I'm like, oh God. And luckily he was a good dude. Like he was a good dude while he was in there. He still is now. But some people got bad relationships with people in there. And with him being a good person and helpful and he always get the good word. You know what I'm saying? So they let me through and I was leaving. I just broke down. I'm like, oh my God. They closed the door behind me and everything. As we getting close to the thing to go past the thing for the sound and all that, if you got weapons and stuff on you.
A little metal detector.
Yeah, metal detector. They like, next thing you know, I'm like, are you the pastor? He was like, yes, I'm here. I was like, oh my God. I was like, he was like, our scheduled time was 1:00. I was like, I thought it was noon. So it was crazy. I'm like, well, they said I can't get married now. So it can't happen. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He started feeling bad. And it was so crazy because he got there before 1. And he said something told him to come earlier. Wow. And he got there 30 minutes early. I was leaving at 12:30. They had me leaving. And luckily he came at 12:30 as we was leaving.
Wow.
And if he didn't come at 1 o'clock, I really would have missed him and would have went home. So it was funny, the guard in the front, with me going to see him all the time, I always been respectful to them and everything. He was like, well, I'm just calling to see what they say. And luckily James was still in the room where we was at, and his counselor was still in there, and they was like, well, the pastor is here, y'all. The pastor is here and all that. And once them doors are closed, you can't never go back in. That's a no go. And like the way God worked, God ended up opening those doors back. And right when we got in there, all you see is him light up. James was like, babe, we can do it. Look at God. Like, he was like, God is good. I told you. God is with us. And all that. He just got so hyped, and he just lit up like a Christmas tree. And it was just like so happy because he just been empty for so many years, and it's like finally something in my life is happening that I want for the good. Then, like, finally I'm doing something right. You know, so it just made him feel good. And it was like, it happened fast. Like, the pastor got ready. We said our I do's and all that stuff. He like, yeah, you mine now. And all that. He just got so hyped. But it was like, it was just really, really nice for see him experiencing. We got that time together, and we just like took hella pictures. We took more. They let us take more pictures than what we really was supposed to take. And it was like everything was just working in favor for us. Yeah, it was like, dang. So all these years of us praying to God, like everything was working the way it's supposed to work, and He placed us in each other's lives for a reason. So it was just crazy of how we just went through all of that stuff. And then through that whole process, I ended up telling my mom that very next morning. And I was like, Mom, we gonna go out to eat, and me and you and Cousin Pat. And she was like, oh, shit. And you know, I'm like, what you talking about? I said, we go out to eat all the time. She was like, it's just the way you said it. She was like, I know my motherfucking child. It was so funny. I was like, Mom,
I was nervous for
I think everybody was.
You want to tell her today?
You know what's crazy? It was like I wanted to tell her because I didn't want no one else to tell her and all that. And you know, that's my mom. Tell her. But you know, you go through these phases in life where you just want to make your own decisions without hearing nobody's opinion or nothing like that. I know my mom wouldn't have been judgmental. You know what I'm saying? But
she wants the best for you. And from the outside looking in, you look at the circle, you like, oh no. Like, what? You know, but you knew him. You know what I mean? So it's like me and him knowing each other for so many years. It was like 7 years went by then. Me and him been knowing each other. So I went and told her, I was like, Mom, I'm married. She said, what? She was like, I knew that shit already. I said, what you mean you knew that? She was like, well, you my child. I already knew you was going to get married without me there one day because I know my child. That's what she kept saying. She was like, I just knew it would have happened. She like, shit, what the fuck? So what's your last name? I said, it's Lloyd. She said, Lloyd. Got a little ring to it. She was like, where your ring at? So I showed her my ring. I had like the band part in front of the actual wedding ring. Okay. She said, that shit don't go like that. Turn that shit around. She like, this supposed to go here. That's supposed to see, that's what the fuck I be talking about.
Y'all know shit.
So it was for a while. I'm like, you want to talk to him? She said, no, I don't want to talk to him. She was like, but I'm going to love him. She's like, I'm going to love him. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he ended up calling her on his phone. She ended up talking to him. And then what really broke the ice was his mom was sick.
Yeah.
And with his mom getting sick, I encouraged her. I'm like, look, Mama Quinn, you need to go to Cleveland Clinic and see what's wrong with you. The whole time, she knew what was wrong with her. She was being hard-headed and didn't want to listen. So I went with her to Cleveland Clinic. They ended up admitting her because of her fluid in her legs and stuff like that. So they kept her for a while. During that time with her being in the hospital, my mom knew I was up there with her. So the next day, my mom came up there with me. Girl, they was talking like they known each other for their whole life.
You're not auntie like that anyway.
Yeah, so it was, and his mom is like that, and you know his mom don't play no games either. So they both was just like, can y'all they like, can you believe they did this and all that? So she met his mom and she met his dad and all that, and my mom said, shit, I like them. She said they keeps it real around here, and it was they just clicked. Just clicked. Him and his mom, they just like, you know, they clicked with each other and communicated. So it built a relationship between my mom and her, and they talked on the phone and stuff like that. So my mom, from seeing where he come from, she knew he was a good child and raised in a good home. He was just hard-headed and went in the wrong direction in life. It ain't like he was just a stone cold criminal in a sense. It's just like somewhere in life he got lost, and you know,
he not.
Yeah,
you know how
he had to pay for it.
Yeah, and then you know the time that they gave him, he really wasn't supposed to get that much time. Yeah, it's just, you know, we get these janky lawyers. The system will tear you apart. You know, so we went through that phase, and then next thing you know, he come home. It'll be a year, November 23rd, I think, this month, and we went to take him. You know, we went to his mom's house, spent time with her. It was probably like 2-3 weeks later, his mom had failed, and she ended up going to the hospital. Next thing you know, she was in a coma. So he only got 45 days actually of time with his mom, and probably only a few weeks of her actually being awake with time with her. Wow. So it's like he's in a halfway house dealing with that, and luckily I had my daycare and stuff, and I could drive back and forth and support him through that whole process of, you know, being there for him with his mom and stuff. And next thing you know, in January earlier this year, 2019, his mom passed, and the whole time she had leukemia. She didn't tell nobody. She did not take her medication like she was supposed to.
Another Sharice.
Yes. And then
they are literally just alike.
Yes, they do. And then, you know, with my mom still being here, it helped him get through the pain that he was enduring from his mom, because my mom loved him. She called him son. He was over there when I'm at home. They do
eating and everything.
But I just want to show, like, when it's divine and God ordained, everything just comes together. And he had them click and get that bond so quick, because he knew what was getting ready to happen. He knew the plan. He knew what was following up. So he knew that y'all had to have that support. You had to build that bond, that unit between the family, so you guys can be there for one another.
Yeah, and it was weird because it was around the time, you know, my mom, she went in the hospital too throughout the year with her stents and all that. And he like, Mom, you need to get it together. Yeah. So it was just weird. And ironically, you know, he ended up gaining this real good job with the union. And he was making damn near $30 an hour. And, you know, with me living in Akron and he's in Toledo, traveling back and forth, it was so weird that his probation officer ended up approving for him to move here to Akron. And that was done with God. And so we've been going through this phase now. It's like from him saving and stuff, we maintaining our bills and stuff. He opened up a janitorial company in a process, but if he was still working for the union, he was working third shift, so we really didn't see each other that much then. So he ended up just stopping working there and came here full time. And it was weird because that job been calling him for the longest, and he been tempted to go back. But it was like God kept speaking to him like, no, stay here with your wife. And during that whole time, that's when, you know, my mom got into the hospital. If he would have took that job, he wouldn't have been here with me through the whole process. So it's like God just knew, like, okay, you need to sit still, James, and just be there. So it's like we both battling, but now we at a point where we have to manage our emotions. It's like one part of him, sometimes he down, next minute I'm down, and sometimes he feel angry, sometimes I feel angry, and sometimes he'd be upstairs and I'd be downstairs. We're both going through pain. We both lost. We both women. It's like we didn't lose just one mom. We both lost two moms that meant a lot to us. His mom played a big part of me in my life, and my mom played a big part of his. So we was all close. So we like at that point, like right now, but ironically, he going through a point where he wanna get his relationship back even stronger with God, because with us going through so much, it causes us to like drift away. We still pray,
of course.
Yeah, we pray when we wake up. Pray when But he was real heavy on it. So we at that point now where we're getting through it. But I think the good part about it is our communication. We communicate a lot, and we got this board. We have a whiteboard, and it's my name on one side and his name on the other. We got pros and cons. We write down stuff that I don't like he's doing. He write down stuff he don't like. We write things what each other do like about each other. And it's so funny because we all fix the things that we don't like about each other, but it's just, you know, take time. It's like little petty stuff like toilet paper and all that, like
because you never live with each other.
So it's like weird, and just we just
learning each other on a different aspect.
So it's like we just learning different stuff, and I think the good part about it is he's really clean like I am. But with me getting in my face, sometimes I felt myself getting back in a sad mode, because every time I get motivated to work out and do something always happen. So now it's like with my mom, and I feel like I'm getting down and depressed and stuff again, but I still gotta keep myself up and keep myself going. But he like, come on, babe, you can do it. And then now he's to a point with him being down, he can't find himself motivating me either, so it's like
get himself together.
So what he do is, I just told him like, don't worry about me, just make sure you work out and stuff. I'll catch up eventually. So he gets up every day, go work out, eat good and all that stuff, and I do it too, but sometimes I get off balance, but it's like I've been on it a lot more lately. But I think like prayer and communication is everything. And I think from where I'm at today, from all the messed up guys that I've dated way before, I learned something from each and every one of them. And it helped me develop as a woman. And it helped me love myself more. And what I noticed in the past of guys that I dated, even like ones that were like successful in life, they wasn't raised by their mothers. They or they was raised by their grandmothers, or they didn't have a father in their life and all that. And I examined that before me and James got close. I write down all my messed up flaws and stuff, and boy, that list was long.
Wow.
It was a lot of stuff. I had a lot of issues. I found myself like, I even found myself being jealous of a guy that I was in a relationship, because he was more driven than me, more motivated than me. and all that stuff. I found myself feeling like jealous in a sense. I'm like, dang, what's why I'm feeling like this? Or I found myself where I wanted to be in a certain position in life mentally, or I felt down and out, or, you know, sometimes you will see the man that you with, you'll see a pretty girl and you'll be like, dang, that female look better than me, or something. But I had to start examining myself. Yes, she may look better than me, but how is she mentally?
Right.
You know, a lot of people can look any kind of way.
Look can be deceiving.
Yeah, looks can be deceiving, and I had to realize that because my self-esteem was low. I had men tell me that I can't dress, I look a mess, I look fat, and why you looking like that? And or if we out together, not paying me no attention, but you out having fun with other females, why I'm with you and stuff, giving them drinks and attention, all that. Yeah. So it's like different stuff, and then I start feeling real uncomfortable. But that's when, like, when I say like Fidea came in too, I figured out a lot of my issues then too, and I'm like, dang, I'm really like messed up for real. And you know, and then also it comes from like friends, like me being around certain females and stuff. I noticed myself getting out of character of things that I normally don't do, or I wasn't raised that way, or I'm around females that I know that my mindset is different from theirs, but I found myself having the same mindset as them, and that wasn't me. It was just the devil working with me, knowing that God had more plans for me.
Yeah.
That's just like with me being in a marriage. I feel like I just lived that hood life. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't me at all. Like I stooped to his level instead of bringing him up to mine, you know what I'm saying? Like he came up to mine slowly but surely, but he also brought me down to his.
See, I think it's like a phase of us wanting to please others before ourselves, or wanting to feel loved by that man due to the negligence of us not having fathers, or we do have fathers, but it's like still an emptiness right there that we wished our dad had did, and all that. So it's like that little emptiness part, and then the guys will come along, and then it's something there, and you be like, what the heck? But you can't look. I had to realize myself, I can't look for nothing in nobody else. I have to look for me. And when I wrote all of that stuff down of my flaws and issues and problems and all that, I looked at it and I read it every single day. And I made sure I had a task to work on one every day. And you know, during the time of me talking to James, I wasn't having sex with anyone for 3 years. So with me being celibate and not having sex with anyone, it helped a lot. Your mindset, it becomes different.
You don't have that, because sex brings a soul tie with somebody. You know what I mean? So when you don't have that soul tie with that person, then you can think clearly and, you know, and think just for you. And not have to be worried about being connected to somebody else. Even if you're not in a relationship, the fact that y'all had sex together, that brings a soul tie.
I had a soul
energy.
Tie. Even being married. I was married and didn't realize I had a soul tie with somebody in my past. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to be with that person or anything, but I found myself thinking about that person sometimes. You know, it's like, what is up with this? And I had to take it to God. And I remember going to church and really praying hard about this soul tie. Like, I can't have this on me. And I released it. Like, I felt it leave. Like, it's crazy. Like, I literally felt it leave, and I feel like,
you know, and some people think you crazy because it's so weird. One night I was like in my basement and I was just laying there, and all of a sudden I seen these black things just exiting my body, and the TV shut on. And you know, when it's like real, like it'd be like, like my TV started doing that, but it was like stuff just exiting my body, and I felt it just releasing from And it wasn't even just that. I had stuff exiting from me from helping these girls and I had demons attacking me from helping them.
Of course.
And then even guys that I could just have conversation with or be around, it's like men know what they can do to you as a woman. They already know if they're going to marry you.
Right.
They already know if they're going to have sex with you. They use you, your time. They have a motive. Each one of them have some form of a motive. You just have to know what that motive is, and you got to keep your standards there to know exactly what you want. If you want to have sex with them, I'm having sex with you because I want to.
That's what I want to do.
This is what I wanted to do. You're on my time. I'm not on your time.
Right.
You know, so it's like you just taking charge off your life. But you got to realize when you do that, you have to go through a cleansing of yourself vaginally, spiritually, mentally, physically. You got to go through a cleanse, and you won't. And I found myself not really getting completely with James until I actually got complete with me.
Right.
So once I got complete with myself, it's cool.
It's cool, yeah. And the more that you fill your temple with pureness, holiness, the devils can't, the demons, they can't sit in that.
Right.
They'll try to attack you because
of course
the devil has tried to attack my marriage on so many occasions, coming from so different ways.
Yeah, because they don't a marriage. The enemy don't like a union. Right. That's why the marriage is so attacked. That's why it's because God knows the union of the man and the wife. Right. So that's what the enemy is going to attack. Is that marriage. But the more that you have it filled, the more that it's holy, the more that it's pure and sanctified, he can come up from the attack. The weapon may come, but it's not going to form. It's not going to prosper. He can't stay. That's why he's going to shake up and have to come out and have to leave because they can't live in that temple. They can't live in that.
Yeah.
It's crazy because me and Say, like, when we was going through, like right before we was going through that, we started praying with each other. Like for years, I would ask, say, we need to start praying with each other. For years, I would say, we need to pray with each other, pray with each other, pray with each other. Then we started praying with each other. And then that's when we started literally being attacked. You know what I'm saying? But when we started being attacked, I was already numb. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't feel anything. So if I couldn't feel anything, I couldn't even hear nothing from God. You know what I'm saying? So by then, I was already gone. You know what I'm saying? But I prayed. It's not like I didn't pray about the situation before I left. Because I prayed hard. I mean, I would go to work, won't even turn on the TV and just cry my eyes out and just listen to God. Like that whole time, like, Lord, if it's not for me to move, block everything.
Right.
Block it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's for me to go, you're going to open up these doors. And that's exactly what he did. Like, I put in my application for housing on my birthday. I got accepted for the house in the new year. You know what I'm saying? It was 15 people before me on the waiting list. And she pushed me ahead. You know, and I'm like, well, if it ain't, you know, because he keeps saying everything your fault. You being selfish. You ain't pray about it. I'm like, you don't know what I did.
Right.
I prayed hard. I cried my heart out. Because I wasn't just thinking about me. I was thinking about my boys.
Right.
Like, I'm breaking up their home. You know, but if it's not for me to leave, Father God, block everything. And if it's for me to leave, open up the doors.
And you know, sometimes people, when people is in a marriage, they don't want to leave the marriage because they don't want to feel embarrassed of being divorced.
Right.
So, and then some people have to realize too, you prayed your way out of this. You wanted God to give you direction. That's what he's giving you, direction. You don't need to neglect what he's trying to give you that you wanted.
Right.
And some people got to realize that, like, you don't, just because you was with somebody for so many years, that doesn't mean that person is for you. God may have.
A lot of the times you get together and God didn't even ordain you to be with that person.
Right.
But he's still going to give you the grace and the mercy throughout that union while you're in it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And then he could be preparing you for the person who you're really supposed to be with, because you, like, that's like me. I've dealt with so many things in so many lives, and then it's like, okay, here, Because for a long time, I done got to a point like, shit, I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have no kids. I got to a point, I just wanted to just date people and just do me and do my own thing.
Right.
I never thought about getting married no more. I been gave up on that. It wasn't my mission. It wasn't what I wanted to do. But I did. My mission was for me to love myself more. And when I found myself loving myself at a certain level, I end up with a man at the same level as me. And that's where people gotta realize, like, okay, you need to love yourself more and have time for you more. And then you will realize, boy, that man will sneak up on you so fast.
And that's what a lot of times God is waiting on a lot of people for you to get to a level that I'm gonna send you this person. He got a person for you, right? But he like, no, you're not ready. You're not ready. Right. And I know what this union can come. I know what can come out of this union. So instead of being sabotaged, you're going to get your stuff together. And then once you get, then I'm going to come along. And a lot of the times is God take us through so we can get his attention. Right. Because I noticed a lot of times, of course, you know, people say we only come to God when it's bad. You know, that's when we at our face. You know, that's what I noticed when I was in my situation, in my marriage. I was praying. I was crying. I was seeking God. Right. And then as soon as I felt like we was back coasting good, I just went back to, you know, my little praying, you know, not as much. And God got to the point where he was telling me no. I remember he reminded me at one time, but before me and Swookie got married, we was in our counseling session. And we had, we did 6 months with one couple, then 6 months with the married couple at the church where we got married. And she gave me a word, and she said, Taj, God is asking you to be his bride before you become his bride. She told me that. She said, that's the word, what I'm hearing God saying. And I'm like, at the time, I'm like, okay, what that mean? I know God, me and you here, we got a, you know, we got a relationship. Right. And I remember in, what we at, 2019, I think it was the beginning of this year. And I felt like in a place, and God brought it back to my remembrance. And I remember I was praying. It was something in regards, praying about our marriage and different things like that. And he brought it back to me and said, you're supposed to be my bride. I can't keep going to him just to fix this. You know, as sincere. Of course, I have a relationship. I love God. But I know that my sincerity and my earnest prayers came when I was going through. Right. You know what I mean? And now I'm reading my word. I'm doing a devotion. You know, I'm reading the Bible. I'm praying. I'm on all the prayer calls. You know what I mean? But as soon as my life starts getting back good, then I'm just going back to my usual prayer during the day or my usual prayer. And God was like, no, I need you to come to me. You get so caught up in yourself or this man, your kids, whatever. Yes. I need you to come to me and seek me and be my bride. Once me and you have what we have everything else gonna fall into place. Right. You know what I mean? Everything else is gonna come together. And I just feel like a lot of the stigma is what we don't want to give up because of what people gonna say. Like I applaud Coke because there would have been many times I thought, well, maybe I should leave. Maybe we should separate. Maybe I should go be on my own. You know what I mean? But you think about, man, I don't have nothing. What I'm gonna do? But to really step out and do what you did, you know, it's very commendable, and it takes strength, it takes courage, that's the fearful thing to do. But I just know that just keep seeking God. That don't mean that you and Satan can never get back together. Right. You know what I mean? It's
like he probably wants you to love you first.
Yeah.
That's exactly
what right. It's like all about you right now.
To learn him.
He gotta love himself.
Love his.
Yeah.
You can't two people
he's angry all the time. And it's like, how can you show love and care anybody if you're angry all the time? You know, just angry.
Because it's people that's been married before and got divorced and got married again.
Right.
It's plenty of people did that.
I know a lot of people that do that. And I think,
but it takes growth.
It does.
You know, once you grow, sometimes it may take for you to grow for him to grow.
That's what I'm saying. Right. He gonna see
you know, it's probably a position where you have to take lead now on full effect on yourself. And then once he see you you're a caterpillar right now. Mm-hmm. So you once he see you blossom, when you come that butterfly, you may meet him and he in a cocoon still.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So you already released your cocoon from leaving him and getting in the steps from where you need to be now.
Right.
So you just in a whole caterpillar mode right now.
Yeah. Because like it's crazy what you said, like when you were saying that God wants you to focus more on him. Mm-hmm. Like I was just literally like he just literally just put that on my heart all this week.
Wow.
All this week. So like that wasn't nothing but confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's already been telling me like you need to focus more on me. Mm-hmm. Forget everybody else.
Forget everybody else.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody keep pointing the finger at you saying, "Oh no, it's your fault. Oh, you did this. No, you did that." And, well, if you did all of this, then why are you with them? If you're always the problem, no, just focus on you.
Mm-hmm.
Just focus on you. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just focused on me. It's not about no other dude or anything like that. It's all about LaCole.
Right.
I have to do better for me.
You got to.
And you gotta, for my boys
and
to
even though your marriage is the same, you know what I'm saying, you still have to focus on you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You have to do
that.
that.
It's not about being selfish.
No, it's not. But I realize that's where I'm coming into. You know what I mean? That's where I'm receiving the clarity of.
So y'all, we as a whole, we got to think about how my mom brought us here.
Right.
When she wanted me to do this podcast, and she ended up bringing us here to do this podcast, and it's basically her talking with us all talking. It's her talking too.
Right.
You know, so we really have to take heed on. We're getting ready to reach a whole new level of our lives for it to
hold
be
the power.
Yeah.
You the shit.
Yeah.
Life her is the shit. So y'all, you gotta realize that. So this is confirmation for y'all too.
This is life because what you're doing is we're birthing life.
Yeah.
Back into each one of us.
Yeah.
You know, as women.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I receive it. You know, I feel like
you gotta stay on it. And we should do, like, even though we all have busy lives and stuff, us three, we should leave. You know, we got a group text. Even if nobody texts back, we gotta say different positive things to each other, or just call each other on 3-way and just do stuff. All we got is us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We do it anyway. But we just gotta be more consistent with it and all that, and just always, you know, we can always be there for each other, but just keeping things going, because it's to a point. My mom is. I know she's happy.
Yeah, I know she is.
She's having a ball right now. Yeah. And how real strong she was on, like, the earth, the ancestors, the universe, Egypt, Africa. She's really studied all these things to the point God said, okay, you got all this knowledge. I need you up here with me.
Yeah.
Because we about to go into a warfare in a minute, and I'm gonna need your strength.
Right.
But we gotta realize that the ancestor she talked about to us, she's one of those ancestors now, and she's going to push us even more. Things will work in favor for us.
I've been saying, all right, auntie, it's just me and you now, boo.
Yeah.
We go do.
And you know, and it's so crazy. She's touching everybody.
Yes,
even like my brother.
Yeah.
He's so motivated.
He is.
Like never before.
It's like he glowing.
Yes. It's like Lonnie. She already owned it. Like she's using her stuff now. I seen her in my sleep. I noticed and that she was talking to me. Like everybody is coming to me saying she's talking to them or she's saying something to them.
What she was doing here on earth.
It's like we may mourn her. We may feel sad. A lot of people look for me to be extra, extra sad.
But I know you won't be.
Yeah, I can't because it's like me and her, it's so crazy because like 3 weeks ago we talked about death.
Wow.
And I was like, Mom, you know, I don't know if I'm weird or what. I said, but I don't like how people really mourn about death into a sadness all the time.
Right.
I was like, I think it's really, really weird. And why would you put yourself in that mental state of mind and relive it every year over and over again, and you get sad all over again, and it costs so much? She was like, you know, that's motherfuckers with them goddamn issues. They need to get their shit together. I said, Mom, this is like a real life conversation. She said, I'm serious as fuck. She was like, that's where it come in. People got to accept what's coming to them. And people got to accept the things that, you know, if death comes, it's not a nothing of sadness. It's a point you're supposed to celebrate. And right behind that, accept the gifts that they're getting ready to give you.
Yeah.
And she's like, you gotta accept it. It's coming. Yeah. And you know, for a long time, she always said, money is coming in our family. I'm telling y'all, y'all gonna do y'all's thing. I'm telling you, and it's with us as the grandkids, the kids. You know, it's so many gifts and talents is in the house. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a lot, and we don't tap into it fully like we supposed to. Like Taj, you could do hair good as heck. If you just pull you in Arizona, girl. No. There ain't nobody hip to a lot of hairstyles in Arizona. You would kill the game.
It's like waste. I know.
You would kill it. Yeah. We could go down there. I could do a daycare down there. You could do the breakfast in bed.
And then, shut it down. Here we come, Arizona.
Yeah. We just gotta accept things and get ourselves together. Make sure our credit is together. Make sure our mental is together. We just gotta make sure our shit together. Yeah. And that's what she want. And honestly, I can say this, y'all. My mom had all her bills paid for the year.
Wow.
The car insurance, everything. Like, she had her shit together.
Mm-hmm. That's what she said.
And everything. Like, literally, everything. She got it together. And it was like to a point, all I had to do was just do the planning.
Right.
For real. And it inspired me so much.
Right.
It's like, like when we get off the show, I gotta show y'all this paper. Of what she made every year at work. And when she retired, my mom wasn't even making damn near $16 an hour.
Wow.
After you done worked 39 years.
Wow.
You know, but you still managed to get another house.
Right.
You still managed to get us all that we want. It's just, it's really, really inspiring. And it motivated me even more. And I'm like, shoot, my mom could do this. I know I can.
No, you can, right. Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm gonna let y'all see it. It's gonna motivate y'all.
Wow.
So, y'all, I guess that's a wrap, y'all. We did our thing today.
Yeah.
Like her.
Yes. So, everybody, I wish y'all learned something from this. It takes a lot for all of us to open up like we just did, especially Tasha and Coco, y'all. Y'all. They don't be talking about nothing, okay? So this is the Blessed Podcast show right here. But y'all, thank you for tuning in to Life Her Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Life Her Podcast. You could go on our website, lifeherpodcast.com. You can listen to our recent episodes. You could buy merchandise and everything else. And just know that you are Life Her and we are Life Her. And have a good day, ladies. Thank you. Bye.